Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into usually a different band, different artist, and we break down one of the records. But we're in SST season. We're wrapping up SST season, and we're doing the Meat Puppets this episode. So we're going to go through their history, their albums. We're going to give you our rankings along the way as well. We're going to talk about some banger stingers if we got them. We don't always have them on these records because Meat Puppets have 15 fucking records. So we're going to try to blast through these as quickly as we can. And then we're going to kind of get into Meat Puppets 2 a little bit, their second record. And we'll talk about, you know, our favorite songs off of that record, some of the more popular songs off of that record as well. But before we do that, we're gonna start with 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge. Now, if you didn't already know, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. And while you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, as the kids say, smash that subscribe button. So let's get into the 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge, the first quick segment of most episodes. I did my homework. Did you?
No.
Okay. So I got one thing. This is where we connect the band of the week to our boy Tom DeLonge. We start with Kurt Kirkwood, singer, guitarist, the band of Meat Puppets. He was in a band called Volcano. In 2004, they put out a record. Forgot what record it was, but Bud Ga, or how do you pronounce his name? Bud. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Bud Ga.
Is it Bud Ga? From Sublime, played on this record. Josh Freese was also in Sublime with Rome before they had to change it. Josh Freese is currently in Nine Inch Nails, used to be in Nine Inch Nails as well. Elon Rubin, longtime member of Nine Inch Nails, is also in a band with Tom DeLonge in Angels and Airwaves. So there you go. 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge. Easy peasy right there. So with that, let's get into some, before we get into like the history and break that all down, let's get into our origin story with Meat Puppets, and then we'll start get into all of it. So what's your origin story with the Meat Puppets? Go.
I mean, really, it's just Nirvana Unplugged and hearing those songs, but not like I was like, oh, that was a good fucking song. I want to listen to the Meat Puppets. It was like, oh, that was a cool fucking cover you did. I will never listen to the Meat Puppets. And I didn't. And then when I moved out here and I kind of was getting into the scene out here in Arizona, I listened to a lot of Arizona bands. And for some reason, I think like the Meat Puppets, I must have just miscalculated some of the records. But to be fair, when I worked at Rock the Sound Records, some of their favorite Meat Puppets records are fucking like my least favorite ones. And I just feel like had I got into the Meat Puppets at the same time I was getting into the Grateful Dead, it would have been game over. Like it would have been game fucking over. So
all right.
So
do you have any of these records on vinyl? How many of these records would you get on vinyl?
Like 6.
That's a lot.
I would honestly get like 6 at the most if they were like $1, like you always say. And then
would you not get something if it was $1?
No, there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't get for $1.
I mean, okay, Meat Puppets. Once again, you're like one of the most frustrating people I've ever known in my whole life. For 25 years, you've been like this. Almost 25 years.
That was so fucking funny.
So annoying.
That was so good. I gotta write that one down.
I gotta write that one down.
God damn. Anyway, I would get a lot of these on the vinyls. I didn't see a lot of bootlegs for these on the Cogs, but this is also a band that I would really get into their bootlegs, their live stuff, because like the Grateful Dead, I think this is a band that you should enjoy live, and I think they really get into it live rather than on studio. But not saying the studio records are bad, but from what little live stuff I heard by them, that's top notch.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, my origin story is also Nirvana. Nirvana Unplugged, when Kurt and Chris came out, played guitar and bass. Chris Novoselic switched to backup acoustic guitar, and Kurt Cobain just sang his little heart out to the 3 Meat Puppet songs. That was my introduction, and I loved it. I absolutely loved those songs back then. I still love them. I think they're the better versions of those songs, which we'll get into in a bit. But back then, you know, I was a little fucking. I was in 7th grade. I didn't care for anything that wasn't Nirvana or punk music. And when I heard the original versions, I thought, this shit's fucking lame. It sucks. I hated this shit. And it wasn't until many, 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 many years later where I heard Meat Puppets 2 again. Really liked it. And I also heard Up on the Sun, or Up on a Sun, whatever the fuck the name of that record is. I loved it as well. And then, but yeah, other than that, I never really gave the other records much of a chance until this week. So yeah, my origin story, Nirvana Unplugged. So, which we'll talk about that too.
Like as far as like the Nirvana show is concerned, there's 2 Kurts and there's almost 2 Chris's. Yeah. Right, the one just has like a little fucking put a little T at the end of it, be a little fancy boy. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird. And then even in the performance, I think it's after they play Plateau, Chris Novoselic's behind them all, and he's like, "So everyone, this is Kurt and this is Chris in front of me," and he was just kind of making a joke that these guys are replacing us. It was fun. It was a fun little thing. Chris Novoselic was fun.
Hey.
So anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into the Meat Puppets. They were signed to SST Records early on, late 70s, early 80s. And that's why we're doing SST season, because it's such an important label in this time period for punk music, hardcore music. And we get their first record. So the band, let me say this. Band is 3-piece, the Kirkwood brothers, Kurt and Chris, guitar, vocals, bass vocals, and then Derek Bostrom on drums. Stay this lineup up until the late 90s. And then they had a couple other drummers, and then Derek came back for the newest record. But anyway,
after
we get into this
jail.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that. It's in my notes here. So we get Meat Puppets, their first record, 1982. This is just a straightforward hardcore record, man. 14 songs, half the songs are under a minute. Took 3 to 5 days to record this bad boy. It's a wild hardcore record, and it's messy as hell. I love it. I would get this on vinyl. I know you were talking shit about it earlier this week in our little chat.
This is not good, dude.
I enjoyed this a lot.
This is stupid. This is cute. Like, it's fun to see where bands start and like what their first thing sounds like. But like, self-admittedly, they did a lot of drugs, a lot of LSD. Did not take this shit serious. And like, it shows, right? These guys aren't fucking hardcore kids. They're just not. Their true passion is what they will get into starting on Meat Puppets 2. This is a fun intro to the band, not like the Meat Puppets. But this is not. It's not good. It's earnest, but it's not good.
It's not good.
This is. I don't know. This was tough. This was bad. This was not good at all.
Really, you hated that much.
Yeah,
so where did you rank it?
This is the worst record of theirs.
Shut the fuck up! You're so fucking dumb.
This is because so like they have a lot of records. So I didn't rank them like number 1, number 2, number 3.
Oh,
I put them at favorite, and then like top tier, and then mid tier, bottom tier, worst. So 5 categories.
5 categories.
But the 2 is just like best and worst. This is their worst.
Okay. So I actually next to this I put where I ranked them, and I put the first record as my number 3. So
oh my god,
I really like this hardcore record. But you're not much of a hardcore kid, and that's okay. That's okay.
Neither are you. Because like, what is it even like this? If you like this, and then compare this to like good hardcore, like that's silly. You're diminishing good hardcore for bad just because it's hardcore. That's what you're doing.
Well, I enjoyed it. But yeah, you were right. I mean, these guys were fucking for a good chunk of their career, their early career, they were always doing drugs. A lot of fucking acid, a lot of drinking. I mean, these guys were fucked up all the time. Heroin use, like hardcore heroin use. I mean, we'll get into. I had some notes about it, but yeah, some hardcore heroin use by Chris, and wild shit, dude. So, Chris is the. Wait, now I think I'm getting the names.
Chris is the bass player. Kurt is the
guitarist. Yeah, okay. So I'm talking about Kurt had a gnarly heroin addiction. Yes. Okay, my bad. I'm gonna fuck this up, but then I just have to think it's like Nirvana. Kirk, Chris. Yeah. I just have to try to remember that.
So weird. They play the same instruments too.
I know. So, all right. So we get into a couple years later, 1984 comes up. They release their second record, just called 2. Now, this is arguably one of their biggest records. I don't think this is their most popular record, but it's definitely their most memorable one because the 3 songs that Nirvana covered during MTV's Unplugged in 1994. They include Plateau, Oh Me, and Lake of Fire. Obviously, we'll get more into those when we break the record down a little bit more. But in the end, this record, very much stripped down of a record, a lot less crazy, a little bit more jammy, but we'll get more into that.
I mean, it's an entirely different band.
Yeah.
That
You
first
would never
record
know
is
they're the
not,
same.
is not the Meat Puppets.
You would never know they're the same band.
No.
Are the dogs barking?
Yeah.
Okay. So I ranked 2. I ranked this my number 2, my second favorite.
So Up in the Sun's your number 1, Meat Puppets 2 is your number 2, and then Meat Puppets 1 is your number 3?
We'll see.
That's crazy. I know it is.
Yeah, it is. So then we get into the year 1986. They released their third record, Up on the Sun. This is a slower record for them. It's less cowpunk. It's more psychedelic. It's 8 tracks. No, it's not 8 tracks. They recorded it on an 8-track recorder. And yeah, this record it's crazy good. It's very up tempo. So many great clean tones, and the way that the brothers harmonize off of each other, both with their instruments and vocally, is just so fucking good. This record to me is by far their best record. There's nothing that even comes close to Up on the Sun. I have an OG of this on vinyl that I got when I went to Big Bear earlier this year. I went to this little like fucking antique shop and they had this for $15. So can't beat it, dude.
That's
OG.
a good deal.
So what are your thoughts on this one, real quick?
This is my favorite. This is my favorite of theirs. Yeah. But like, I'm gonna bring this up so fucking much over the course of this podcast. But like, how the fuck can you love this sound, this tone, and then be like, oh, the Grateful Dead's kind of whatever? There's not just like similarities between the two. Meat Puppets are the Grateful Dead reincarnate, just sped up a little bit sometimes, not always, because Grateful Dead still like tear it up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, holy shit! Like, there's a point to like, this is where the Meat Puppets realize, like, dude, we can jam. Like we're not just doing instrumentals anymore. We can have jam sessions, not just little pockets or times where like, okay, now this next 16 bars we can jam. Like, no, let's have jam songs. There's jam songs on here.
Mm-hmm.
And like an early encounter these guys had, or the book that I've still never read, but I quote from the Minute Men episode, from Henry Rollins' memoirs. He said that in early Meat Puppets, they were all hanging out together and they're like listening to music and shit, and all they wanted to play, Meat Puppets, was Grateful Dead, Neil Young, and Gentle Giant. And all the guys from Black Flag were like, dude, those are fucking gay, man. That shit sucks. Like, fuck that shit. And like, it's all they want to listen to. Yeah. And like, I hear all 3 of those. Like Gentle Giant, the more the prog stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's here. That's all over this. But like, for sure, the Grateful Dead, dude. And not only just guitar wise, but as the career progresses, Kurt sounds like Jerry Garcia. Not just guitar, but the way he sings, fucking identical to Jerry Garcia.
Which I don't think is necessarily a compliment, because Jerry Garcia has one of the most vanilla voices ever. And also, you know Grateful Dead way more than I do, so you comparing the two bands, I'll take your word for it. But every Grateful Dead thing I've heard it's been good. It's been good. But nothing has ever made me want to go back and listen to it, except for that one bootleg with
Dwayne Allman.
Dwayne Allman, yeah. I was gonna say Greg Allman, but I knew that was not right.
I think the issue, I think if I could speed up the Grateful Dead, not necessarily double time, because like these aren't double time Grateful Dead songs, but if I could 1.5 them, right? Yeah. I think you would have a different tune of the Grateful Dead, because like, dude, so much of the Meat Puppets is just sped up Grateful Dead.
Possibly. Now, also, a fun little fact about this song or this album is that so I mentioned it was recorded on an 8-track recorder. So it originally was a lot slower, and the thing that they recorded it on ended up it was very unique recorder, and it ended up breaking after they recorded all the songs. They couldn't fix it because all the parts in it were all proprietary. It was outdated and they weren't able to do it. So they ended up having to scrap the whole record. They re-recorded the record but made it much, much faster, and that's what we eventually get. So the actual original version of this record was much slower, more psychedelic, more psych rock.
It wasn't just like a unique recorder. It was like some proprietary thing where they couldn't figure out how to like. I don't understand what it was trying to say in that excerpt, but something about like the proprietary format that was used, they couldn't get a hold of. So there's no way they could unlock their recordings. Anyway.
Was that what? Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what it was. because it was kind of confusing.
I was reading. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How is this fucking possible?
I thought it was like maybe like some parts inside of it broke, but they were unique to whatever company made the recorder. I didn't really understand it too well, but yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the little story behind it. But yeah, this is just an incredible record. Up on the Sun is by far their best record.
I don't think it's by far their best record. I think there's a lot of similarities between Up on the Sun and Meat Puppets 2. And then also a couple things later on. I don't think it's by far their best, but this one rests, which is funny too, because you brought one of the songs to the pod. I was like, oh, that was good. That was fine. But like, I think like had I just spent more time with the record, it would have opened my eyes to be like, dude, Meat Puppets are just like the punk or Grateful Dead.
This record, it's so good. It's so good. Also, I didn't mention it with the second record, but the reason why they decided to take a different approach for the second record after the hardcore stuff is because they would go play shows, and they would get like, you know, laughed off the stage and almost beaten up because they had long hair. They looked like fucking hippies, and the punker kids didn't like that. They were fucking skinheads. They don't want that.
Not in the 70s and 80s like that.
So they were like, you know what? Fuck you guys. We're not going to make hardcore music anymore. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want. And that's literally what they did. They made something kind of unique into itself, and that's what we got on 2 and Up on the Sun. And then everything from here just goes downhill. But
no, there's some big,
there's some great albums. Yeah. I'm just teasing.
Most of it goes downhill.
But it definitely does peak at Up on the Sun.
Yes.
So then we get into 1987. You know, we're into like synth era of rock music. They put out an album called Mirage, their 4th record. This is all electronic drums. There's synth on here. It generally keeps with the style of Up on the Sun, but it's just so infused with 80s style and sound that I don't like it. It's a little bit slower too, and kind of ballady at some points, but it's cheesy. I don't care for this record that much at all. I ranked it number 10.
I mean, this is bottom tier. This is not the worst, but like one of the worst. This is awful. Because it destroyed anything that I want to hear about the Meat Puppets. Yeah. Because it's too much fucking synth. It's too 80s, generic 80s sounding. When I say 80s, it's more like the new wave, kind of like dumb synth-driven pop shit that I just don't fucking like. Nobody likes. We pretend we like it, but we don't like it.
Yep. So then we get into we stay in 1987. They're doing a lot of drugs. They're making a lot of music, recording a lot of music, and you have to understand too. This band, in the 80s, when they go into the studio, they're only spending like a week in the studio, 2 weeks tops, you know, and they're just pumping shit out like left and right, and then they're touring. But they didn't get much of a fanfare from Mirage, so they go back in. They do Huevos. This also comes out in 1987, 5th record. This is different. It's more rock and roll, very very ZZ Top, very much more riff based. Bigger guitars, more distorted guitars and all that. It's not nearly as clean sounding as Up on the Sun. But the songs are good. They're really, really good, but they just don't hit quite as hard as Up on the Sun. Like, you get this crazy good record of Up on the Sun, but I don't know, there's something there that I can't quite latch onto. Can't quite get into.
This is them, like, apparently they saw ZZ Top live and it was like, holy fuck, that's so goddamn good. So this is their Texas like boogie record, as you would have it. To me, this sounds like if Jerry Garcia wrote like Texas Flood, and I don't really like that Southern blues shit. I don't like Stevie Ray Vaughan very much. I'm just not a fan of like that Texas boogie shit. But this to me sounds like Up on the Sun, right? That's a fucking Grateful Dead record, and then mix that with Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you get Huevos.
That's actually a good comparison, because they've always had that the country ever since their second record. They always had that country thing going, cowpunk, and and it just kind of seeps more and more into their music throughout the 80s, early 90s, and they get into like grunge shit, which we'll get into. But yeah, in the end, this record, it's good. I ranked it 6. I don't know where you put it.
This is mid tier for me.
Mid tier, yeah. So
mid tier for me is like I enjoyed my listen. Like, if we were doing bangers and stinkers, I probably would have a banger, but I probably would have a stinker.
All right. So also, this record every song on this record was recorded in one take, which is pretty cool too. Once again, it came out very quickly after after Mirage, 6 months after Mirage came out. So then we moved.
Best take.
A couple years later, we get into their sixth record from 1989 called Monsters. This one was their reaction to the big like hair metal bands, more specifically Bon Jovi. They were saying, you know, we could write big rock hits and all that kind of shit. And there's honestly this has the heaviest stuff on record up to this point. I mean, if you exclude like the craziness of the first record, but when it comes to like proper metal music, this is some of the heavier stuff up to this point. There's some shit in the 90s that's heavier, but
like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I don't care either.
It's stupid. It's
very
done
much of
well
its time.
overall, but there's not a ton of actual like metal, right? Like Bon Jovi, some people would say, oh, that's kind of like hair metal. That's glam metal. There's still metal in there. There's just some balls in there. Like, this is fine. There's some jammy parts to this overall, but it's just like you can't just say like, oh, I can do it too, and then just do it fucking half-assed. I'd rather listen to Bon Jovi than this.
Yeah, honestly, I would too, because it does have a lot of the same 80s things, production and all that kind of shit. But Bon Jovi just have some catchy fucking songs, and I don't even really like Bon Jovi.
Of course.
But they really do have some catchy fucking songs. So Monsters, it was just a sign of the times. It was a record in response to the times. You know, they were almost 10 years deep as a band, and that's what bands do. When they start out, they make music that's really true to themselves, and then as time goes on, after 5 to 6 years, they start going with what's popular at the time, and that's what Monsters is. I still ranked it 5 because it's still not a bad record, but I don't know.
5?
Yeah, I ranked it 5. There's still some good shit on.
So
here.
there's only one record that you haven't ranked yet. Let's see. I hope it's Too High to Die.
So let's get into. All right, now we get into a new decade. We'll get into the year 1991. They put out their 7th record called Forbidden Places. This record is very much a mix of their earlier sound outside of the hardcore punk. It ditches a lot of the 80s stuff, the synth stuff. This is, you know, the cowpunk metal a little bit, a lot of alt rock. I mean, we get, you know, the Pixies have come out at this point, which, you know, we talked about on the Pixies episode. I feel a lot of bands were really inspired by the early Pixies records, and Meat Puppets are one of those bands. So we hear a lot of that kind of stuff on here. This is also the first record that they did not release on SST Records. 7 records in, first record without SST. Not on SST, I should say. But yeah, Forbidden Places, I rank this 4, my number 4.
Oh!
I would get this on vinyl. I get my top 4 on vinyl. Just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really did like Forbidden Places. There's some cool shit in the 90s that they put out, but I'm just not, I get it. If you like Grateful Dead, you'll probably like it. Like, you like Grateful Dead. You get that shit. I don't get it. I could appreciate it, but it's just not for me. But anyway.
This is, dude, this record's badass. Like,
it's a great record.
This is top tier for me. I would also get this in the vinyls. This is, this was produced by a guy, I forget what his name was, Pete Rock. Not really. Produced by a guy who's worked with Dwight Yoakam for fucking many years in the whole, like, country western scene for many years. And so we get some serious like cowpunk going on here.
Oh yeah.
But then also some like grunge seeping in. And even though like these guys don't really want to be grunge and then I want to do my own thing, it's going to seep into your music no matter what, because like all of your contemporaries, everybody you're jamming with, everybody you're opening for, everybody's opening for you, they're all playing the same music. You're going to find something you like and incorporate that into your music. And so Forbidden Places is this weird like transition from just being like, oh, the Meat Puppets, they just do that cowpunk thing, right? Into something better, it's something bigger. And so I think this record is very big. It's fucking good, man. I really, really dig this record a lot. I would get this on the vinyls. But this is not, I think the next record's better.
Okay, so let's get into this. 1994, 3 years later, 1994 happens. We're you know, deep into grunge. You know, Nirvana's Unplugged, you know, it come out. And they put out a record called Too High to Die, their 8th record this year in 1994. This is their most popular record. This sold the most albums. It has some of their bigger hits on this record, even though, you know, obviously the 3 Nirvana covers were on their 2nd record. But a lot of people went out to the Meat Puppets and wanted to buy this record because of that Unplugged performance. And I think this is why this is one of the most popular. Now,
of course,
musically, there's a shit ton of psych rock on here, and it's just sprinkled with the grunge. which is cool. It like I love those two elements, but for whatever reason, it just didn't quite hit with me. It's not that it was boring, but I just thought it's like I know these guys are better than what they're putting out here. Like these guys are better musicians than this, and I feel like when they harmonize with each other vocally, the brothers do. It's just so incredible, and that they've lost a lot of it on this record. It's still good, but I ranked it 8 out of 15 on here.
Oh,
still like it, but I would not give this on vinyl.
oh,
But it was also very much a sign of the times. We're in grunge, and we're getting into post rock because I mean, Kurt dies I think right around this time this record was made. So
yeah.
you know, we're transitioning into post rock.
The Unplugged thing was his fucking swan song, and he was gone after that.
2 months later, he died. Yeah.
Yeah. Too High to Die. This is top tier for me. This is top 5 Meat Puppets for sure. But I think this is him at his peak Jerry sounding. Like this is full on Jerry Garcia vocally. Very fun. A lot of psychedelia in their alt rock approach, which is dope. Like I like it. Like considering, like we talked about, they played with Nirvana a year earlier, and instead of just jumping on that grunge train to gain them popularity, they chose to do this, right? Like everybody, because the record came out fairly short after the performance, but everybody watched the performance and saw the Meat Puppets, and they could have put out their own kind of Unplugged or Nirvana sounding record and made some money, and they could have done that. And that's what they wanted to do from the beginning. They wanted to sign a major label from the beginning. But they chose here not to do that. And then they get Paul Leary, guitarist for the Butthole Surfers. And like, I'm just not a fan of the Butthole Surfers. I like
I never
one
really got
record.
Yeah.
They're just too fucking out there. They're too artsy. They're too fucking weird. But they're just too weird. Even for like the most aggressive of Sonic Youth fans. They're just too fucking bizarre. But they don't sacrifice any of their... I don't know. He injects a lot of wildness into this record, and they don't sacrifice any of their personality. This is still a Meat Puppets record, but it's pretty fucking wild. It's pretty out there. It's pretty psychedelic. It covers a lot of ground, but it doesn't ever like sacrifice melodies. And like they're not good singers. Like these guys are terrible fucking singers. But the way they're able to chase each other guitar wise and like bass and like riffs and everything they do, it's fun. But like vocally, like I don't really care to hear a whole lot of Harms because I don't think they're good singers, and it's like almost purposeful where they leave their shitty singing in and don't church it up in any way, shape, or form. So I think this record is very earnest. It's very fucking weird and out there, even for a Meat Puppets record, but it's also very, very Grateful Dead sounding, like the psychedelia and the Jerry Garcia sounding vocals, and then his tone throughout his entire career. He's just chasing Jerry Garcia.
Okay. I mean, you know better than me. I'll leave that to you, that comparison.
I cannot believe how much fucking Grateful Dead is scattered throughout this entire fucking discography, to the point where like my big day listening to vinyls on Saturday, and it's like an all day thing. I play a lot of video games. I did like 6 Grateful Dead records just because I don't have any Meat Puppet stuff. So I was like, fuck, the next best thing I guess is just Grateful Dead. And went through just so much Grateful Dead stuff, and it was just it's such a fun time.
I can't believe you don't have anything in your store in Desert Grooves.
I know. Huge shout out.
Especially considering you're in Arizona. They're from Phoenix, Arizona. Your store is in Chandler, Arizona, essentially a suburb of Phoenix. It's crazy that you don't have any. We don't get a lot of any. We don't get JFA. We don't get Sun City Girls. We don't get Jimmy World. We don't get Meat Puppets. We don't get anything. That's so bizarre.
Gin Blossoms. We never got Gin Blossoms. Fucking hell, we got Linda Ronstadt though. Shit.
Stupid.
If you want to bulk buy Linda Ronstadt, let me know.
You got a lot of it.
Fucking hell.
You have a couple of boxes of them. I'm sure you have probably a couple of boxes worth of Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, absolutely. Hundreds.
Hit them up. You'll ship internationally. Probably not though. So anyway, we get into a year later. 1995 comes along. They put out their 9th record called No Joke, and got to put that exclamation point there. This is a bit of a heavy record. Some metal at moments. This is also more of a grunge kind of post rock, butt rock kind of a record for them. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I did rank this number 7 for me, but this is a crazy time for the band as well. Kurt and Chris were heavy into cocaine and heroin, especially Kurt into heroin, even to the point there's a story where he was living in Tempe, Arizona, Kurt was, with his wife, and well, actually his best friend and his wife both OD'd in his house during this time. The label found out about all this drug use, and they're like, you know what? We're fucking out, and we're not going to promote this record anymore.
Especially like post like Cobain dying,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Shooting himself. Like, of course.
Yeah. Or dying, yeah.
Shooting himself.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that happened or not. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of a little bit of the backstory of the record. But in the end, it's kind of a mid-level kind of post-rock grunge record from 1995. And that's why I ranked it 7, right? Like, you don't have...
Fair. For me, it's mid-tier. This is the second of the two that was produced by Butthole Surface guitarist Paul Leary. And this one's like vastly different than Too High to Die. This one sounds more generic. This one sounds more toned down. This one sounds more safe. And it's just like alt rock with a little bit of heavier guitars from like almost like 90s metal kind of like heavy guitars. But the songs aren't heavy. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of dumb. Like, there were some cool songs in here for sure. So this is mid-tier. This is the last of the Butthole, or this is the last of the Meat Puppets that I care about. Everything else after this is bottom tier.
All right. Yeah, pretty much. I agree with you. I mean, this is where I just kind of don't care too much. So at this point, they kind of break up. They go on a hiatus. They put out, in 2000, they reconvene. Or actually, let me go back. No Joke was the last record with Derek Bostrom on drums. And then he didn't come back for almost 20 years at this point to record that record in 2019. But then we get the year 2000 comes along. Golden Lies comes out. I rank this at number 9. This album is just a little bit boring. Kind of one of their heavier records, but it's clearly missing a lot of the harmonizing vocals and guitar and bass. The interplay, it's just
generic. Way too much synth.
Yeah, I don't really care about this record. But during the hiatus, Derek put out a solo record. Kurt went to Austin, formed a new band, but then he eventually changed it to the band's name to Meat Puppets. They put out an EP, and that's essentially what this record is. It's Kurt is the only member of Meat Puppets in this band, and then like 3 other dudes. And yeah, I just don't care about this record that much. I think it's a little bit dull. So
I don't care about anything else after this.
So okay, we'll just run through real quick. But okay, so at this point, 2000, they put out this record. It completely flops. Nobody gives a shit. They break up. So they don't put out another record until 2007. So you got 7 years here. But a couple things. Chris Kirkwood, bass player, he actually ends up attacking. He goes to a bank, attacks a security guard with his own baton. I don't know the reasons for that, but he did.
Was it? I thought it was the drummer. Was it the bass? Was it Chris? Was it the?
It was Chris. It was one of the Kirkwoods. Oh. It was Chris, the bassist. And so he attacked the security guard at a bank with the security guard's baton.
Well, he was fighting with some lady in the parking lot.
Oh, was that what it was? Okay, I don't know. I don't know the story.
He was arguing with some lady in the parking lot about who the fuck even cares. And this is an open carry state. Like, anybody can have guns in Arizona. Like, you know, we do whatever we want over here in the Wild West. And the security guard comes over, and then he gets kind of involved. And so then Chris takes the security guard's expandable baton and then beats him over the head with it. Hits him on the back of the fucking head. Like, at this point, if you get hit on the back of the head with a baseball bat, you are in fear for your life, right? And so your first instinct normally is I'm just going to start shooting, right? I'm going to start killing people because I can't afford to die. I got shit to do. I got to go work, so I can't afford to die. Mm-hmm. So he gets hit in the back of the head, falls on the ground, pulls out his gun, shoots Chris in the back.
Oh, I didn't know about this. How did I not read this?
Fucking shot him
what
in
the
the
fuck?
back.
How did I not read this? Holy shit.
And then Chris ends up going to prison
for 2 years.
Jail out here, yeah. And then he forms a band with like one of the drummers from fucking Steppenwolf or some shit in prison, and they form like a band, and they like record stuff, and they record stuff to the point where like those recordings are lost forever, and it all sounds so fucking far fetched. It all sounds so I don't know, movie theater. That's crazy. He got shot in the fucking back.
I didn't know about the shooting. Okay, I didn't read the details of that. I just read that he attacked the security guard with his own baton at a bank. But okay, well anyway, yeah. He was in jail for 2 years.
You see that when he was 17, Kurt, the singer, the guitar player, he was in a plane crash.
I didn't.
The plane went down. They overloaded the plane with fuel because they wanted to go farther, but didn't realize the plane just couldn't hold that much fuel. A smaller plane. Fucking crashes,
what
right?
The fuck?
The pilot breaks his legs, and they tell Kurt, who's 16 or 17, hey, go find help. And so then Kurt leaves the plane, and everyone's fucking oh wow, and goes and finds help. And supposedly he said that on this journey over to find help, he thought to himself I'm never going to do anything that I don't want to do. And that's why the Meat Puppets were the Meat Puppets. He just did whatever the fuck he wanted. But yeah, he was in a fucking plane crash at 17 years old.
I did not know. That's fucking insane.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's fucking wild. All right, so yeah, at this point, Chris gets out of jail and all that kind of stuff. Derek posts on his MySpace and Facebook. So we're looking at 2005, 2006 here, when those two social media sites were overlapping. He posted a bulletin and a post on Facebook saying, does anybody want the OG Meat Puppets back? There's a giant fanfare for it. Everybody wants it, blah, blah, blah. And then what ends up happening is that Kurt and Chris, they end up reforming Meat Puppets without Derek. Sick. And
it's so funny though. That is funny.
It's so fucked up. They actually were gonna have Tim Alexander from Primus join the band, but at the last minute he ended up not being able to join, probably because he was committed to Primus for whatever, or at that time. So they got a guy named Ted Marcus. I don't really remember what his background was, but it wasn't anything crazy good. So Ted Marcus joins the band. 2007, they put out their 11th record called Rise to Your Knees. I do like the name of that record though. I don't know why.
Rise to Your Knees.
I really do like the name of the record. But it's a very mellow, very alt rock. Has some elements of folk and reggae in some of the songs, but honestly it's pretty forgettable, nothing exciting. This is my least favorite Meat Puppets record. I put this at 15.
We're getting to your least favorite Meat Puppets record?
This is my least favorite Meat Puppets, yeah.
Rise to Your Knees sounds cool because it sounds like it's punk. It sounds like it'd be cool, Rise to Your Knees, right? Then a picture of Trump with X's on his eyes or some shit.
It's also a little, it's a bit disrespectful of a title too. Rise to Your Knees, yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, it's just I didn't really care for this record at all. Doesn't sound like you did either. This is probably lower tier for you, right?
Yeah, these are all bottom tier. Everything is bottom tier. I don't give a fuck about any of these records. Dusty Notes was the best of the worst, I guess.
I would tend to agree with that. So we get into. I'll run through these real quick. 2009, we get Sewn Together. They're trying to go back to the 80s, record something really quick, really cheap, and they did all these songs in one take. It was mostly recorded in Ted Marcus's apartment, the drummer's apartment, and also studio in Mesa, Arizona. The album's fine, just more mid-tempo alt rock shit. I just don't care. I really don't care at this point for the Meat Puppets records, right? You don't care?
No, not at all.
So we get Lollipop in 2011, their 13th record, and Shandon, they replace a drummer. Shandon Som comes in to play. Once again, they're just keeping up with this all rock folk stuff. They're adding a little bit of reggae, and there's even some pop country on here. There's a couple songs in here that are just truly terrible. So there's some bad shit on Lollipop. We jump to 2012. They put out an album called Rat Farm. This album, once again, more alt rock, hint of country. They bring some of the psych rock stuff coming back in here, but it's just more of the same. I don't care. And then finally, Dusty Notes comes out 2019. I rank this number 11. I think you could tell with the last several records what I ranked them very, very low.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Dusty Notes is kind of a little bit of a throwback to the 80s and early 90s
Everybody's
stuff.
Back.
Yeah. We get Derek Bostrom comes back as the drummer. The OG lineup right here. So it's pretty cool. They also add a backup guitarist and a keyboardist to the record as members. So even if you go on Spotify now, it shows 5 members in the band. But yeah, this is definitely more of a throwback and more of an homage to the 80s and early 90s sound. A lot of good
sounding
good
record. It's a pretty sounding record. It's a full sounding record. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice. So yeah, there we go. Meat Puppets, their last record from 2019, or Dusty Notes, their last record. So yeah, we've run through that shit, talked about where we'd rank them, where would we put them in our what we like. So let's get back to Meat Puppets 2, their second record. We're going to talk about the 5 most popular songs, maybe a couple other songs here and there. So obviously we have to talk about the big 3. We're going to talk about Plateau, Oh Me, and Lake of Fire. So kind of where do you want to start first? Where do you want to go with this?
Let's go in order. Plateau's my favorite song. On this
that
record.
is mine too. Yeah, it's my favorite. Hands down. Easy peasy.
Yes.
The guitars, I think Kurt is an incredible guitar player. He really truly is an incredible guitar player. He's so clean. Those clean notes that he hits, there's no buzz. You don't hear any like you don't like there's no mistakes. He's just perfect. And the way he plays on this song, it's kind of like this flamenco thing that almost sounds like a harp. It's unreal. It's so fucking good. The vocals, I love his vocals on this one, and that bass tone is dirty. It just sounds like he's hitting those bass strings so fucking hard. Love it. I love Plateau.
I mean, this is definitely like their campfire folk country song, like through and through, right? Churched up through like druggy punker 80s kids' eyes, but it's simple. It's fucking simple. It's very minimalist, kind of like their whole concept of like outsider music. We don't fit in anywhere, but we're gonna do whatever we want to do anyway. And like outsider music is the concept of this record, and kind of the Meat Puppets in general. But it really revolves around the melody and like the flow of it. Like all we have here is just like his singing, and it's shit. It's not very good, but goddamn is not earnest.
But it works. Yeah,
it's earnest. It's him, and that's why like Cobain liked it so much. Is when Cobain would do these songs, he's like, I'm not gonna reinterpret these and make them my own. I'm just gonna do it the way they did it. So I'm gonna sing bad on top of singing bad, and then see how it goes. And like that makes it earnest on top of earnest.
And also, so I mean, because now you brought up Kurt, so we have to talk about Kurt Cobain, the Nirvana Unplugged performance in '94, and so in that performance, if you don't already know, which you probably do, Kurt and Chris came out, played guitar and bass, and one of the reasons why they did that was because not only Kurt Cobain loved the Meat Puppets, and this is his favorite Meat Puppet. This is one of his favorite records of all time.
Can play guitar.
He was too nervous about his own vocals that he couldn't. He wanted to make sure his vocals were good enough, so he didn't feel comfortable playing the guitar. So he wanted the guys from the Meat Puppets to come on, play guitar and bass, and just so he could only focus on the vocals. And Kurt's vocal performance, oh my fucking God, it's incredible on all 3 songs. And all 3 songs are better than the Meat Puppets versions. I don't give a fuck. They're better. They're more earnest. They're just beautiful songs. I don't get the fuck out of here. I don't care. And also, so the Kirkwood brothers are up on stage. Chris Novoselic, he picks up just an acoustic guitar, and then he just perfectly just kind of plays the rhythm parts to whatever Kirkwood is playing. Like he's just playing, they're just kind of playing together, and it's so beautiful.
So
and then Dave
he's
Grohl,
being a normal bass player,
but he's playing guitar. He's playing the acoustic guitar. No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
I know.
He's being a bass player.
I know. But it just the way he would just come in and out. Like at some points, Novoselic would just not even play anything. He would let Kirkwood just do his own thing, and then he would just kind of let him do his thing, and then he'd just come in for a few bars, do what he needed to do. Dude, I love the performance, and I love Kurt Cobain's vocal performance. I think it's just beautiful. It's amazing. It's so earnest. It's like heart. Oh, dude, I just fucking love it so much.
I do want to get into all
Nirvana.
of this because it's just. I think you're being crazy.
I think you're just being stupid.
Just to backtrack a little bit, I think, like if I were to put it into like percentages, I think like Kirkwood, the main songwriter, I think he's like 60% of the Meat Puppets. I think his brother is like 30% of the Meat Puppets, and the drummer is like 10% of the Meat Puppets.
Fair, yeah.
Like they're all parts to the overall machine, but like really, dude, like. It's Kurt. Like he's the main guy. Take him out. This band is absolutely fucking nothing. Nextly, dude. Like we're in. That's Kurt Cobain's swan song. Is fucking Unplugged, and I get it. Like it's it's tragic and like, damn, that's the fucking last thing we heard, you know, and everybody was up in arms and it was so tragic and so sad and like we're still reeling from it and we're still feeling it today. And
30 years later.
But I think it's just because of that. It's just because like it's so eerie and it's so like, oh man, he died shortly after this. Had he not died shortly
it's more
after
than
this,
that. No. Okay, I know what you're saying. It's like people
dude.
dying too young, they get more popular.
Hold on there, dude. Had he not died so young and so early after that, he would have done other things. And like, oh, dude, remember that one Unplugged performance? Yeah, that one was fucking insane. Like, no, it would have been still good for sure. It's a great performance. But would we put it on the same pedestal as we are putting it on now just because he died?
Yes.
Which, regardless, who gives a fuck anyway? Because he did die. That's a fact, right? Like, we can't take it back and compare the two. That is what happened. But to say that it's better than the original, I think is.
It's not disrespectful. No.
I think it's silly. I think it's silly to say that it's better than the original. I think Lake of Fire is better than the original. I don't think Plateau is better than the original.
I disagree with you so hard on that one. I think
you're
the way
Cobain cocksucker. That's
dude,
what's going on.
I love Kurt Cobain. I don't give a. Honestly, I don't care. I love Kurt Cobain and I love Nirvana so much.
Kurt Cobain cocksuckers, which is
I love Nirvana so much.
I know your favorite record is not even a fucking album by them.
Shut up. God,
you love them so much.
Because I do love the band so much. So I love Incesticide. I love that fucking album. So anyway, Plateau from the Meat Puppets. I will say I read through obviously the lyrics that I took notes on, but I read through a lot of the other lyrics from other songs. I do like his lyrics. I think they're very
good lyrics.
They're very, very good lyrics. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I do. But then there's all other moments where I really love the metaphors that he's using, the analogies, all that kind of shit. I think he's
this song in
fantastic.
particular was a fucking amazing lyrics
great
on this one.
But also, it's like Kirkwood. His explanation of the song doesn't match what I thought the song was about. I thought the song was about death and the afterlife and all of that. And I thought it was beautifully done. I honestly thought it was beautifully done. But Kurt was saying, no, it's about being an outcast and an outsider in society and blah, blah, blah. Which I can kind of see with that in mind. But it just all harkens back to, I think this is just about death and the afterlife. And your views on that.
Even totally different than those two things.
What do you think?
I thought he was trying to say like this is some coming of age bullshit. Fucking, I don't give a fuck. But I saw like the plateau itself is like the metaphor for life, and we're all climbing this shitty fucking plateau that hopefully we get up to one day, right? And who wants to fucking climb up? Like a plateau is not just a mountain or a rock face where it's kind of like fun and people like rock climbing and stuff. Plateau's like a fucking boring ass table with like drapes on the side of a fucking table. boring shit. It's like we're all climbing this boring ass thing to get up to the top, and then like what do we find at the top? Like nothing. There's nothing up there. And like the chorus is a little bit more encouraging, right? The inevitable like journey that leads to nothing is comforted by the idea that like we're all climbing the same fucking thing, dude. We're all climbing the same thing, and it's the journey rather than the destination.
And that's
right, the shaking hands, the using your words, like meaningful relationships. And like the last verse, I think is just to sound cool and reiterate, we're going through the same shit. Like the Mexico, everything is just we're all going through the same thing. Which I don't think like the plateau is like the end game. Like we're dying, because I don't think that's the point. Like the point, I think he's trying to say we're just going through the same motions. Because like none of us actually reach death, right? Like when you're dead, like do you understand that you reach death? Like no, you don't.
Well, we don't know that. Well, that's the thing. We don't. That's the mystery. And I think that's kind of the point of the song. Dude. That's the kind of the point of the song and his criticism of religion. Because there are other songs on here that he very much criticizes religion, especially Catholicism. And I think this is him saying like, okay, well, you know, I'm dead now, and this is it. This is the afterlife. This is the plateau. Like when you hear somebody say, "I've reached the plateau," like let's say when you're working out, if you do the same thing every fucking day, when you're running 5 miles a day every day for 6 months, you hit a plateau and you don't get any better. You don't lose weight. You don't whatever. You just hit that wall, that plateau. And I think that's what he's saying. It's like this is it. Like I did all this stuff in my life. I did all these great things in my life, or all these bad things in my life, and I reached just mediocrity. I just reached like pretty much nothing, like staleness. I think that's what it is. Because we're with religion, you're promised like, you know, just eternal greatness and just beauty and so many positive things. And he's like, this is it.
If you do good.
True. Yeah, true.
If you do good. If you don't rate fucking stupid records fucking higher than they should be, then no.
But in the end, that's how I viewed it. I think this is his view on death, the afterlife, spirituality, and also his views on religion, and in a negative way.
It's like the concept of the plateau itself, right? Getting to the plateau, I think is like, you think that when you hit the plateau, that is you, like you're dead, like you're done. Like, oh, I'm climbing.
I think no. I know. There. I think well, because you spend your whole life building something, building a family, building a career, building just anything in life. However you go through life, you're supposed to constantly be building, getting better and better and better. And then when you die, you reach the plateau. You reach the end game, the end mark of it, and then you're there. You're dead. You're the afterlife, and you're like, well, this is it. Like it's flat. There's nothing. There's nowhere to go higher. There's no. It's just that's it. Like there's just a flat is the best way to put it. Like when I think of plateau, I think just flat, straight line.
But like specifically death.
Yeah, and death is. I mean, death. Yeah, when you hit death, you've built and you've grown so much. We don't know, but I mean, I think this is his view on it. You go 80 years, you just build, grow. 80 years old, you're dead, whatever, and that's it.
That's
like,
you plateau.
You plateau. You
climb, dead.
That's it. You
okay.
flat. You flatline.
I mean,
you flatline
because there's a right
you
or
literally
wrong for this.
you literally flatline when you die. Your heart flatlines. On an EKG. Your heart flatlines, plateau. Flat.
I'm not saying like I agree or disagree. I'm just curious of what you think the plateau here is. This is because I love that. I really do fucking love this song. This is an incredible fucking song, and these lyrics are my favorite lyrics on the entire record. It's great. But like for me, like the plateau itself is something you're always trying to attain. Whether it be in the gym, you hit that plateau in the gym and you get up to there, right? Let's say you fucking work really, really, really hard and. Like, I want to be healthy, I want to be buff, and you get there and like, oh, this kind of sucks. Or like, I want more, right? Mm-hmm. I think there can be multiple plateaus in your life. I don't think the end-all, be-all plateau is just like dead. I think like in relationships or in nutrition, whatever you do, I think we all hit plateaus, like you said, right?
Well, the gym was just one example. That was just the one example that came to mind.
But there's like thousands of examples throughout our entire life. When you're in 6th grade, right, and you fucking want to beat that fucking dude in dodgeball, and you finally beat him, and you kind of hit that plateau, and you're like, oh, I don't play dodgeball anymore. Yeah. So I think like I don't know. I think the ambiguity of the plateau itself is pretty brilliant. It's pretty fun.
It's great.
And I think the ambiguity in his lyrics too make it so that like you're not right and you're not wrong and I am not right and I am not wrong. And I think that he probably was just doing drugs and wrote some fucking pretty ambiguous lyrics, and here we are talking about them in a way that he probably never intended.
40 years later.
Which is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
So, do we have anything else on Plateau?
That's it.
All right. So we get into. Do you want to get into Omi?
Yeah.
Okay. So Omi, so Plateau is my favorite. Your favorite. Omi is my my second favorite song on this record. So yeah, Omi, just great interplay between the brothers here. I love the way that Kurt strains his voice on here. It's fucking incredible. The sloppy as hell solo is just perfect for this song. It's perfect for this band, this entire record. I mean, like I said, like we talked about, they came off this crazy fucking hardcore record on the first album. Yeah. That's an absolute fucking mess, but in the best way. I do love the first record. But yeah, no, this is like one of the few moments on the second record where they harken back to the craziness, the sloppiness of that first one. But it works so well. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I love this one. And once again, I think the Nirvana version's better. I think it's obviously cleaner than this version. And I think Cobain does just an incredible vocal performance on this song. I love it. But Kurt Kirkwood is so good too. His guitar it's so good.
This one's tough. This one's tough to compare. I don't know if I would choose one over the other. Like I said, Lake of Fire, I think I give it to Nirvana. And then Plateau, I give it to Meat Puppets. This one, I go either way. But I do think this is like if we're just like ranking the three covers, this is the oft forgot about Meat Puppets cover on the Unplugged record.
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they did 3 of them.
This is the most forgotten cover of the whole set, because they did Jesus Doesn't Want Me for Jesus Doesn't Want Me for Sunbeam, and then they did the David Bowie song. Wait, what is
these 3, and then the Lead Belly song?
Oh, yeah, the Lead Belly song. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and this is like really the most forgotten cover of the whole set.
The oft forgot, but it's still goddamn good. And this song's cool because it grows, and it grows really, really well. We get like 3 verses of just steady kind of build. And like, unlike a Tool song where you don't get any relief, we get a beautiful, fucking amazing chorus here where everything makes sense. And we get to hear like his patented shriek, and not just like Kurt Street with a C, but also like Kurt Street with a K. Like that's what he loves to do. And this song sets him up to do that. It's incredible.
It really is. Also, going back to that Unplugged performance too, it might have been Plateau, I think, where Kurt Cobain's just smoking a cigarette. He had, I don't know if you watch the videos, but if you watch the video, because I watched him today before we potted, and Kurt has just a lighter, and he's lighting some candles around him that had gone out. He's lighting them and shit, and then he just, the whole performance, he just has a cigarette, and he smokes before the song, after the song, and he's just fucking chilling in the studio, singing his heart out, loving these songs, just smoking a ciggy. I loved it. It was just such a relaxed thing. None of it seemed.
He's such a performer.
Forward.
It's crazy.
God, he's so Kurt Cobain.
He's such a fucking performer. For a guy that never wanted to be a performer, he's such a fucking performer. He is.
But it was so what natural. Like it never came off as pompous or arrogant. It was so fucking natural.
He tried so hard not to make it look like that.
God, Kurt Cobain is just truly one of the greatest of all time.
I'm not discounting that he's one of the greatest of all time, but I do think it's a calculated thing, and he relished in every moment of it.
I think a little bit. I think he was just so conflicted with his punk mentality, with the fame and all that. I mean, it just he was 27 when he died. 27 years old when he fucking died. Can you imagine that?
When he committed suicide.
When he died. When he was shot and killed.
By himself.
By a hitman.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just a crazy conspiracy theory.
You do believe that, though.
There are parts of me that
I didn't say there are parts of you. I said you do believe that he was murdered.
For the most part, I believe that.
That is Tyler Rebecca A's.
But once again, I got to ride the fence. You never know.
Good.
You never know.
Good. You never know.
Maybe he did commit suicide. I don't know.
What do you rank this album? I give it a 3 or a 1. You never know.
You never know.
Like that. That could be your new thing.
We'll see. We'll see.
Thing.
You never know. We'll see.
Don't make that your new thing. That would be terrible.
No, I don't. That's not even. That's just too much. I'm already obnoxious. So yeah, it's already. That is
true. The most obnoxious. 50% obnoxious.
Not the most, but yeah, I'm getting up there. So, Oh Me. It's about his drug use, needing that escape from reality and his own emotions. I mean, that's why some people do drugs. They get overwhelmed with their own life and their own thoughts and emotions, and this is that's their escape. That's why people drink alcohol. We drink alcohol just to have fun and just kind of chill out from normal, boring fucking adult life.
For our plateau lifestyles.
Yeah, and these guys obviously took it to a much more extreme level with all the acid and shit at the time, and then later on, coke and all the heroin and shit. But that's what I think Oh Me is about.
Yeah, same. I got that too. Nothing where I dug too deep into it and thought more like existential. It was just like, okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So we get into Lake of Fire. Or are you good with Oh Me?
Yeah, Oh Me, Lake of Fire.
Oh Me?
Oh Me?
Do you remember
Dave Grohl? Oh Me.
Dave Grohl does that in the Unplugged thing. They're like, "What are we gonna do next?" Oh Me? He goes, "Oh Me?" He says it like very, very faintly in the background. Oh Me? It's fun. I always thought it was funny.
I haven't watched the live thing. I think since we did In Utero.
In Utero, which was like 2 years ago, I think it was.
Because we did Nevermind after In Utero, right?
Yeah, we did. So we did In Utero like 4 years ago. We did Nevermind
Yes.
maybe a year ago then.
Yes, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched the live performance since we did In Utero.
Okay. Well, on the CD or the Spotify vinyl, whatever, you hear Dave Grohl say that too, and the audio recording too. It's not just the video. You hear him say, "Oh, me," but it's very, very faint, but you can hear it. Anyway, let's get into Lake of Fire.
Lake of Fire.
Lake of Fire.
Lake of Fire.
Damn,
that
dude.
fuzz is out of control.
Yeah, dude, it's so
out of control.
It's so fucking dirty. That's the only way I can describe Kurt Kirkwood's guitar tone. It's just fucking dirty and gross.
What the fuck were you thinking? Yeah. And I get it, right? You have a song. This is like objectively fucking catchy.
Yeah,
it's a good song, and you got something going on here.
Dude, I had this song stuck in my head for like 4 hours today. Just the chorus. I couldn't stop singing the chorus. I love the chorus here.
And so, like, what do you do to make it, like, I don't know, to make it yours, right? To make it something that no one else could ever reproduce and no one else could ever fuck with. Is it, A, you sing like shit, your shrill vocal delivery. Earnest, again, as earnest as fuck.
Yeah.
But, dude, it's horrible. It's horrible in the same way the Meat Puppets' first record is horrible. Like, it's endearing and horrible. But it's fucking horrible. Tell me it's not horrible.
No, it's
this singing
not good.
is terrible on this. It's
Where
so
bad
not good.
folks go with it's like it's just trying. It's almost like he's trying to do this like Jarl thing before the Jarl was invented in the 90s.
Yeah,
it's just,
he is.
It's this weird fucking high pitched Jarl. Where the bad folks go when they die? Like that's how it is, but it's like it's like way higher pitched and just grainy and gross. Like everything about this, and the way that the guitar just kind of drone, and then all of a sudden he'll just do these like single picky notes. But because the guitar the amp is so distorted, everything's so distorted, it just fucking sounds gross and
it just
nasty.
Sounds like absolute shit.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Everything about the song sounds like absolute shit, and like therein lies its charm, right? Like therein lies its fucking appeal.
When Nirvana did it, Kurt Cobain kept to how this Kurt did the song. Like he had the same nuances and all that, but he cleaned it up just a little bit. There was still the craziness in Cobain's voice, but it was more melodic, and it really kept to the original. And that's why I think this is a better or Nirvana's version is better than the Puppets version.
Yes, I agree with that. I think this is a better version, but
I
don't think
Kurt. You think Cobain or Nirvana's version?
I think Nirvana's version of Lake of Fire is better.
Okay.
I think Meat Puppets' version of Plateau is better, and I think Oh Me, Oh My, it could go either way.
Okay.
Oh Me, Oh My, but I don't think it's because like Cobain like tried. I think it's just he's a better singer. Yeah. Not that he's a good singer, but he's a but better
also,
singer.
I think
like
I don't think Kurt Cobain gets enough credit as a vocalist. I think he has more range than most people give him credit for. And with what he was doing in his songs and on stage and all that kind of shit, his voice really was not that bad. It was different. It was grating at times, but he really didn't have that bad of a voice at all. It was. I mean,
the guy didn't like invent a genre, but he like cemented a genre, and he was like the voice of a population of kids and teens and young adults. I mean, we're not even getting to the fucking Nirvana thing.
I know. I feel like we've talked about Nirvana so much, but you can't help but talk about them because of these three songs were just made legendary when Nirvana covered them.
And like realistically, Meat Puppets don't have a lot going for them outside the fact that they were doing a weird fucking sound at a time when everybody else was too scared to do this. And
this and the Unplugged was 10 years after this Meat Puppets record came out. I mean, this is 10 years ago at that time was a long time. Like 10 years ago now, 2015 to 2025, a lot's happened, but it's like it's not the same. I don't feel like it's the same between 1984 I don't think it's the same as 1984 to fucking 1994.
Even without like we're also old too, right? Like the older you get, time kind of like dilates, constricts, to where it doesn't seem it's like that long. But even with that aside, like 75 to 85, like how many fucking genres were built and cemented and changed in that 10-year period versus like where we live now. And even just like we're talking SST here, and we're closing out SST season with this, and it's just like SST Black Flag, right? Like everybody knows Black Flag as SST. Yeah. They were just like an early '80s band. Like that's essentially like all their records came out in like the early '80s.
Yeah, and outside of the EPs, but yeah, the actual full lengths. Yeah.
Besides, like Rollins just kind of like being kind of a dick and doing whatever the fuck he wants. They're just a one-dimensional band. And like, you're going through Minute Men and then Husker Du's and then the Meat Puppets. I was just like, fucking hell, man. How the fuck did people still hang on to hardcore punk for as long as they did?
Yeah.
Because even like the guys that, like all three of the bands we've done for SST season, they all started out as hardcore punk. And all three of them were like, dude, this sucks. Let's do something better. Yeah. And they all did something better. Yeah. You know? Except for Black Flag, and Black Flag's like, fuck it, 30, 40 years later, let's drop another record.
It's like it's also like the genius and also the arrogance of Greg Ginn. Greg Ginn knew who to sign and how good these fucking bands were. I mean, obviously he signed his own band Black Flag, but he signed Minutemen, he signed Husker Du, Meat Puppets, so many fucking bands that he knew were so great. Musically, songwriting wise, they were so fucking great, but he also knew that he himself is not that great of a guitar player or a songwriter. He tries. Like, you got to give Greg Ginn credit for trying, but he's not that great of a musician. And I think like he's a genius in where he knew who to sign, but as a musician himself and as a band, he just didn't know how to progress. And that's where Black Flag is a little bit lackluster at times. I do love Black Flag. I really, really do love Black Flag.
Everybody likes fucking Black Flag.
Honestly, I would listen to Black Flag more than I do the three bands we've done in SST season, because I do love Damage. I do love Family Man. I do love Slip It In. I love these fucking records. Honestly, I do.
I'm on team not Black Flag now.
I don't know. I do love Up on the Sun. I do listen to it, but I really listen to or Damage, not Arise Above, Damaged. I listen to Damage more than I do fucking Meat Puppets. Even Minutemen.
Damage is going to be the best. Like Damage is always going to be like number one. Damage is going to be like this is what we all want to be. Even like Husker Do's, Husker Don'ts, the Minute Men, and the Meat Puppets. They all wanted to be fucking Damaged. They all wanted to like put something out that is that good, that perfect through and through. But like they also realized like I can't make a career off of this. Nor do I want to make a career off of this. And this week too, I forgot to send it to you, but you've probably seen it. But Henry Rollins did an interview in like the 90s, and he was making fun of like punk bands and like how like 90s punk is shit, and he was saying like, yeah, you have a drummer who can't fucking keep time. You have a bass player who's non-existent. You have a guitar player who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and you have a lead singer who just does whatever he wants and rambles on. And like the whole point was like, bro. Have you heard Black Flag? Like,
are you talking about yourself? Is this some weird criticism of your own bands or your own?
And he's wearing this big old fucking like long sleeve like sweater that's like monotone. And it's like, oh my god, dude, this is like peak Henry Rollins just being. He has like no social awareness for himself.
He has no self-awareness.
Self-awareness. He has no self-awareness whatsoever. God damn. But like you're right. Damage is Damage is GOAT. Damage is S tier. Not even S tier. Damage is like blueprint tier.
For hardcore
it's foundational.
Music, yeah. Absolutely.
Foundational.
So we're good. Are we good with Lake of Fire?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into some of the non-Nirvana covers. What do you want to get into next? Just a few more, and then we'll wrap it up.
I mean, at this point, we can just run through them then, right?
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's your pod.
Like the three big ones were then. It is my pod. We can run through them. Split myself in two. I think these are all bangers, to be honest. I really do think this is a fucking phenomenal fucking album. But yeah, Split myself in two.
The opener.
Definitely more of a metal sound to this one. Reminds me of a blend of like Motorhead with a Faces era, like Rod Stewart singing the "Come with me," like kind of like that raspy guttural sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a fun departure from their OG sound, but it's a good bridge to their newer sound.
Motorhead's a good comparison. It is actually very Motorhead.
It does sound like Motorhead, right?
Yeah, it really, especially the vocals. It does sound very Motorhead. That's crazy. Has that very driving bass line, which is also very Lemmy. But there's this slightly honky tonk way that he sings on this song that I think is really cool too. Also, most of these songs on this record are about 2 minutes long. Like on average, I think it's like 2 minutes long. All short songs. But another song too where very sloppy guitar solo, but it works. It absolutely works.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to say too. I want to go back to where we were talking about the guitar parts, and he's very crisp, and I think he's very sloppy. I think what he does, it's not sloppy in the sense where like you hear like boom, 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 boom. I think he's very sloppy, kind of a bad word. He's very adventurous. He's fearless when it comes to like playing the guitar, and there are times where you hear him like kind of like transition to a scale, and the chord progressions they use too are fucking
they're weird. Yeah, they're
not
really
just
weird.
They're not just like relying on like 1-4-5s the whole fucking time. Like they're going into random chord progressions that I to me like don't make any fucking sense. Very Grateful Dead, and so when he's doing these little extended bits, you can kind of hear him think in his mind. I don't know how to get out of this, so let me scale back a little bit and then get back into what I know, and then we'll go from there. So like, whereas and this is why people love the Grateful Dead so much, is because the Grateful Dead will do this like on the fly, right? Whereas like the Meat Puppeteer, you can hear that step by step process of like, I'm in this key, I want to get to this key, but I also want to hit like 2 different chords before I get to that key. I don't know how to do it, so therefore I'll kind of like go around it and then get to the other chord that I want to get to, and then jump the key. Whereas like Grateful Dead, like you experience that thought process in real time.
Okay.
If any of that made any sense, but
no, I get I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's that. I think that's what makes the Dead fun. That's what makes this fun too, because like nobody was doing this shit in the fucking 80s, especially coming out of a punker background. Like nobody was, like, come on, bro. Like nobody was doing things like this. Nobody was experimenting with tonality and chord progression the way the Meat Puppets.
But also
crazy.
With the Meat Puppets, I feel like the way that Kurt plays on these earlier records, especially, he his use of like the alternate picking and his just the I don't want to say like tone wise the clean notes, but the clean way he picks these notes is so incredible, because he'll just strum a chord but then immediately go into a different chord and just do the single notes of that chord, but all the alternate picking of that is just so clean. It's so fucking clean.
Yes.
You don't hear any fucking up. Yeah, he does weird chord progressions, and I agree with you on that. But the transitions are almost flawless. And going from strumming to the clean to the all that, I think it's fantastic. And I think that's what he does so well, especially on this record, and even more so on Up on the Sun. And that's why I love that record so much. It's insane on that record how they can make such an upbeat sounding record, up tempo, and just it almost it's like a punk song but with no distortion, or a punk album I should say, a punk album with no distortion. That's what Up on the Sun is, but way more intricate. It's just incredible, and this album has a lot of that, but it's not nearly as refined as it is on Up in the Sun. But it's you're getting that feel on this record and on a lot of these songs.
Up on the Sun is like their fucking magnum opus. It's like
incredible.
Them.
It's so
it's
incredible.
Like peak Meat Puppets.
Yeah.
But this is a close second. And so I don't know how to, because I'm not like a music major, and I don't know, I didn't study music and stuff, so I don't know how to properly articulate what I'm trying to say. So when you hit like a chord, and you can pick that chord, you can arpeggiate the chord, you can do everything you want to within that chord, but then like, how do you get from if you have the chord wheel going on here, how do you go from like the normal 1-4-5 and then go over to like whatever random shit you want to get to? How do you get there, right? And it's like that journey that the Grateful Dead like made a career out of. Like we can not just like change key, but change direction entirely, change fucking genre, change anything we want to do. With the Meat Puppets, it's more of a thought process where I can hear. Maybe just me comparing them to the Grateful Dead concept.
I think that's what you're doing. Yeah, I think you're so stuck on that comparison, which is not a bad thing.
But that's what makes like S tier musicianship versus like oh, you punker kids listen to a lot of Grateful Dead. You guys are really really good, but you're not S tier like musicians. And so that's what's going on here. Is they're not S tier musicians. Like he's good. he's good at doing the clean tones, but transitioning into different keys or different like chord progressions, you can hear the transition, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's where we stopped. That's where we stopped doing that and going into there. Okay, gotcha. Whereas in the Grateful Dead, it's like 15 minutes later, it's like, holy fuck, we just like transitioned 5 times. How did that happen? So I'm not saying like this is bad because it's
not. Yeah, it's not
still
bad at all.
good. It's still better than it'll ever fucking be. You know what I mean? Like it's still better than I could ever strive to be. But I can hear.
You're just making that comparison. That's just you can't get that.
It's a comparison. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's a comparison. It's because I love both of these things so much. And between like the Minute Men and Husker Don'ts, and Me Puppets, if I could choose one band, I'd probably choose Me Puppets.
Real? No way.
I probably would, dude.
I would. Okay, so I will say, out of the 3 bands, I think Up on the Sun is the best record out of all 3 bands. Overall, I would choose Minutemen as the best band. Overall band, best output overall. But I think it's also because Me Puppets have they have 15 records. Minutemen have 5.
Yeah.
Husker Du have 6. 6 or 7. But Husker Don'ts, yeah. But in the end, it's just like Up on the Sun is just it's on its own plateau, but it's on its own level, and I think it's honestly better than everything. I think it's better than Double Nickel. I think it's better than the earlier hardcore stuff that they did. But whatever.
I think I'd agree.
Yeah, Up on the Sun is
that could be cool.
Something
we can get into like. I feel like we're probably in the closing stage.
Yeah, we're definitely close. Yeah,
and then we can at least compare and say where we would put everything, and just like overall SSTs in the ranking, right? Like just do whatever we fucking want.
So split myself in 2. Let's jump into a couple other songs here. What are some of the other ones you want to get into?
Honestly, I like the instrumental bits.
I think they're really cool
songs.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The
There's
whistling song a lot. I think that was wild. Like they could have thrown in a big jam type solo or done anything fucking else, but they whistle.
And there's like 3 or 4 instrumental songs on this record. But once again,
Mindless Idiots instrumental. Yeah, that's an instrumental band.
Yeah, I mean this is whatever. There's some good shit on here. New Gods. I do want to talk about that one real quick. It's a punk song, fun bass line, ton of flange on that guitar, but it sounds good. It's all well placed into the whole mix of the song, and then the second half of the song is just instrumental, But mind you, the song is just over 2 minutes, so it's not like it's a long song. But half of it's just an instrumental, and it's great. It's fucking great.
It's a good song. It shows us like hey, we still can play punk if we want, but we just don't want to because we don't give a fuck about that. Yeah. There's also a lot of the Might Be Giants all over this record.
Yeah, and that's good.
Like the Might Be Giants took a lot from this band and a lot from this sound. And one of the I think it was Plateau or Lake of Fire or something, but there was a Japanese, a tall buddy,
25 ounce baby, 25 ounce.
There was a Japanese bonus disc that had a couple extra B-sides on it, and they did a cover of one song, and I forgot what it was, but the backing vocals to that was They Might Be Giants. Oh. And so I do hear a lot of They Might Be Giants all over this, because sometimes like Me Puppets can be very fun and kind of, I don't see this in a bad way, but very childish, like the Might Be Giants, right? Very like nursery rhyme childish.
Well, you think Me Puppets are, or no?
They can be.
Yeah. I think it's the opposite. I think They Might Be Giants is definitely more childish.
They Might Be Giants. No. They Might Be Giants made a career out of being childish.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They Might Be Giants took from the Meat Puppets because the Meat Puppets at times can sound kind of like They Might Be Giants. Childish nursery rhyme thing, but no, dude, the Might Be Giants have an alter ego where they play children's songs, and that's the only time I've ever seen them live is when they're playing their children's songs at the House of Blues, and it was like all kids. I was like, you fucking kidding me? This is weird. Why would I be here?
And you were probably I didn't go with you, but we were 18, 19?
I was definitely under 21 because I wasn't drinking.
Yeah. At House of Blues, right? Anaheim?
At the old House of Blues, yeah.
Old House of Blues, yeah.
I thought for sure. I was like, oh no, because I think Annie likes It Might Be Giants. And I thought,
does she?
I thought it would be like a lot of people like Annie and me. Just,
I don't know if Annie likes.
I'm pretty sure she fucking does.
She loves the next band that we're doing next week, which we're not going to get into.
Yes.
We're not going to say yet, but Annie loves the next band we're doing.
She's my origin story with the next band.
Is she?
Yeah.
No. It's got to be Punkorama.
Well, I mean, that's
my
I never
origin
listened
story.
to it.
You never listen to the... Okay, well, we'll get into that later next week. No.
All right. Are we wrapping it up?
Yeah,
You want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, let's wrap it. Oh, actually, I do want to go back, actually, real quick. I do want to go back to I'm a Mindless Idiot. It's an instrumental jam, like we talked about very, very briefly. But this is one of the few moments on the record where it's guitar. There's two different guitars. Normally, it's just Kurt doing one guitar thing, and that's it. But what's really cool here is that he has the one acoustic guitar doing one thing, electric guitar on the other end, and it has a little slight distortion, but the way that he's playing off of himself, it's fucking incredible.
Here's what I thought about this one. Okay, baby girl.
How much did you hate it?
I thought, and I love this song, I thought that he was channeling his like two like influences. On the one channel, I heard Jimmy Page. On the other channel, I heard Jerry Garcia.
Ah, okay. I like it. I was
like, damn, this is pretty fucking good.
I dig it. All right, so let's give our final thoughts on Meat Puppets, their career, the record 2. We actually went way deeper into 2 than I was ever expecting we would, but we did. This has been a good episode. I feel
it's good,
way better than the Husker Du episode, and
that
was such a bad episode. All on me, but anyway,
it's always all on you.
Well, settle down.
Got him.
Final thoughts on Meat Puppets, and then we're not going to rank the band. That's just so, we could put them in tiers. Are they S tier, 8? Why are you doing that with your tongue?
I was like an idiot, like a fucking dumb fish.
Do we want to put them into tiers?
Like a gay fish.
Like Kanye. So stupid. South Park.
No,
man.
I'll do what I want with them. So
okay, let's do final thought. What do you got? Final thoughts, and then we're good. We'll get the fuck out of here.
It is fun because like we're so like ingrained in like the hardcore punk stuff, and like we even though you give a lot more liberties to it, but then I give a lot more liberties to other stupid shit too. So like I get it, but like we're very ingrained in like the hardcore punk. But it's funny because like the 3 bands that we've done for SSTs and are not hardcore punk bands in the traditional sense, but all started as hardcore fucking punk bands, and all started as almost, except for the Meat Puppets, like the Minute Men and Husker Du are almost better hardcore punk than Black Flag was overall.
Totally, yeah, totally.
So it's just funny like how fast everybody abandons just hardcore punk because like why like if you're a musician you want to be something better. You always want to push yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And I know we make fun of Greg Ginn a lot, but like we wouldn't be doing any of these things if it wasn't for Greg Ginn.
Yeah.
So,
but once again,
give a little bit of credit where credit is due.
He's a genius, but also arrogant and terrible on the other end.
Maybe he just likes to fight. He's like, you know what? I want to sign bands that are dope, but I only want to play hardcore punk. So
I mean, that's literally what he did. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, all 3 of these bands have been a fucking treat. Husker Dones, that was also a fucking treat. I really, really liked Zen Arcade. I really liked their first record. I don't remember what it was called. And then the Metal Circus was the EP. Those are all great. Minute Men,
Everything Falls
that was
Apart,
an incredible listen through.
Wait, Everything Falls Apart? That was the first Husker Du, I think.
Are you singing Sugar Ray? Should we do Sugar Ray right now? Just right now?
Is that a lost episode?
Episode. I would love to do Sugar Ray again.
No, I don't think it's a lost episode. I don't think it's a lost episode. But continue the joke.
But the Meat Puppets was all like honestly every fucking week has been a very pleasant surprise, and I had low expectations for all 3 of these. Oh, yeah, I was going back to it. Like when I worked at Rock This Town Records, their favorite record there was Lollipop. Yeah, so
it's
later like 2000s record.
Tier.
And so like I listened to Lollipop while I worked there, and I was like, dude, this song fucking sucks, man. Like Meat Puppets are terrible. Like I'm never gonna get into the Meat Puppets, and that's one of the reasons why I just never got into the Meat Puppets, was because they fucked me early on. But I was pleasantly surprised, and like legit, there's probably not much Meat Puppets I wouldn't buy on the vinyls. post like early 90s. Everything else I'd probably buy in the vinyls because it was good.
Right.
And it was Grateful Dead written all over it. So yeah, Minute Men, Double Nickels, I think is great. I think Meat Puppets, what's Under the Sun one is better. Yeah. But Zen Arcade is fucking... Dude, Zen Arcade was good, man. Zen Arcade was good. And I really enjoyed it. I think they're all top tier stuffs. Foundational stuffs that would just influence decades to come. So, I don't know. I think I gave Minute Men like a 2.8. That seemed about fair.
Maybe, I don't remember.
I think I gave Zen Arcade a 2.7. I think I'm gonna give Meep Up as a 2.8. A 2.8. I think these guys. I don't
like a band or the
as a band as the record. It's weird because I don't think they're underrated. Because when you talk about underrated, it's like Death, right? The band Death that we talked about. Like that's a band that's underrated. Like they're not talked about in the mainstream media. They're not talked about enough with like normal musicians. It's only like the deep cut musicians from that era. Yeah, that really. We're talking about
Death, the 1970s Death, the proto punk or the original. I would say the original punk band.
The for sure better Death than the
metal,
Death,
but the metal Death band,
it's fine.
They're pretty good though.
They're fine.
The metal band Death is pretty good too.
They're fine.
But anyway, continue. Yeah.
You like Baroness too? You like that?
I don't like Baroness. No, I don't like Baroness.
Yeah. Boring. Yeah. So I don't think the Meat Puppets are like underrated. I think they're adequately rated because this genre of music in the 80s and 90s, like, dude, no one's gonna like this shit anyway. No one really liked Grateful Dead back when the Grateful Dead were coming out. It was only like those weirdo fucking deadheads that liked it, and they like really liked it. So I don't think they're underrated. I think they're adequately rated. They're just not talked about enough in the upper echelon of I don't know, music talks. And if it wasn't for Nirvana, like they probably would have died, dude. They probably would have been completely dead.
That and they would have just been, lost to the sands of time, like, just gone into obscurity at that point.
And just like another, and kudos to Cobain too, right? Like, dude, you guys need to hear this band. Well, I don't want to listen to it. Okay, well, I'm going to do 3 fucking covers. I'm going to make you listen to it.
Where I'm supposed to play my own songs. But I'm going to do 3 Meat Puppets. I'm going to do 6 covers, and 3 of them are going to be fucking Meat Puppets. 3 of them are fucking
boom, 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 back to back to back, too.
Love
and like
that
that's
shit.
Like kudos to him, like game knows game type of thing. Like, I'm going to make you listen to this shit.
When I was watching the Unplugged stuff today, I watched the unedited versions of it. So there's like some banter between some of the songs, and then Kurt Cobain was like, "So let's get some. What song should we play next? Some requests." Of course, people in the crowd were like yelling all these Nirvana songs, and then somebody's like, "Sliver, play Sliver, play Sliver," and then Novoselic starts playing the bass line, and then people are getting all jazzed up, and he's like, and Kurt Cobain's like, no, let's not do that. And then somebody said, "Play In Bloom," and he looks at the guy and he's like, "How the fuck are we gonna play In Bloom acoustic?" Like he gets genuinely mad at the guy. Like, how are we going to play In Bloom?
So you could do it.
I mean, you could do it, but it wouldn't sound nearly as good as the original. And then Dave and Novoselic start playing it a little bit, and it was fun. So you can go watch that unedited little like 45-second clip on YouTube. It's fun. But anyway, back to Meat Puppets. Final thoughts here. I think they're an underrated band in that Kurt and Chris, the brothers, are just they're great at what they do. The way they harmonize with each other vocally, guitar and bass wise, I think is just incredible, especially early on. But I think they're also a band that suffers from they peaked so early on and they put out 15 records and most of them are just whatever. They're fine. They're just never really gonna. They're just never going to... It's not that they're bad. They're just... They don't do anything different or that great. It's fatigue, yeah. MP fatigue. So, MPF. There you go. But, yeah, the early stuff, the 80s stuff mostly is just... Most of it's just fucking incredible. I love it. I think this band is top-notch, top tier. I'd put them A tier. I wouldn't put them S tier, per se. But when it comes to SST season... I would say Minutemen are the best, are my favorite. They are the best.
Overall.
Meat Men, or not Meat Men.
Minutemen.
God damn, Minutemen. Then
That'd be a cool collaboration.
That would actually like the Minute Flag thing.
Yeah,
that would have been a really cool collab, dude. Minutemen and fucking Meat Puppets. That could have been incredible.
Yeah, because he won't play this same fucking thing.
Like, can you imagine Kurt playing guitar vocals with the guys? Just having Kurt play with the Minutemen guys would have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you take Chris and Derek. They're fine. They're great. But
you put Georgie Boy like as
Yeah.
a fucking phenomenal drummer into the Meatmen.
Oh
you get a
my
better Meatmen.
God damn, dude. That'd be so good. Meatmen, yes.
Love the Meatmen.
But yeah, so I would say Minutemen for SST season. Minutemen have been my favorite, and then fucking Meat Puppets, and then rounding it out, Husker Du were by far my least favorite. I think
Did you hate Husker Du because you just like half-assed it the whole week?
No, it wasn't. I think the reason why. Okay, I don't want. I did not half-ass
ZNRK
it,
was still fucking good,
but it wasn't their best. So with Husker Du, I get what they were doing. I really liked it. It was a little too new wavy for me. It was a little too 80s for me, and I didn't really like that. And also, I just was kind of bored listening through a lot of their discography. They didn't have a lot of it, but even still, like, Zen Arcade is great, but I don't think it's their best by any means. I think Metal Circus is definitely better. And at this point, I re-listened to their
EP.
I listened to Zen Arcade and also their first record again. I like their hardcore music more than I like Zen Arcade. I just do.
Their hardcore music is good. It's actually really good hardcore music.
Yeah, and I think Zen Arcade is
it's
definitely
the best of the three hardcore musics.
It is the
best of the. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
It
might be better than
Minutemen's
Minutemen,
hardcore. And it's for sure better than Meat Puppets hardcore.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it might be. Husker Du might be, their hardcore, might be better than Minutemen. But either way, Zen Arcade is definitely bloated. There's some stuff there that just not my style, not my thing. So that was by far my least favorite part of SST season. Not because I fucked up the episode. And that has nothing to do with the band. That was because I just fucked it up. So that's the way she goes. So anyway, I don't know. This has just been great. Meat Puppets was fucking great. It was fucking great, dude. It's fucking great, dude. But anyway, I don't know. That's all I got.
What is your ranking for this? What is your score for this one? Every fucking week we do a score, no matter what.
But we're not doing an album. I don't feel right scoring the band.
I didn't score. I scored the fucking Meat Puppets 2.
Okay, so we're doing Nichols.
I give it a 2.8.
We're doing okay. So Meat Puppets 2. I give it a 2.5. I give it a 2.5.
I gave
2.7. No, honestly, I'll give it a 2.75. I'll give it a 2.75.
I gave Nichols a 2. I think I give it a 2.8 because not only is it good, but it's fucking stupid influential.
Yeah.
I gave Zen Arcade like a 2.7 because it's stupid influential, but it's also pretty damn good. I gave Meat Puppets 2 a 2.8 because it's fucking good. Maybe not that influential, but it's a good fucking record.
I think I gave Zen Arcade 2.25. I think that's what I gave Zen Arcade. And that's what I'd give it now. I don't think Meat Puppets 2 is their best, so I would give that a 2.5. I give Nichols and I give anything Minutemen have done at least 2.8. If not perfect 3.
Everything they've done 2.8.
Honestly, no, it's a 3. I don't know. Well, the Minutemen's last 2 records, no, I wouldn't give a perfect 3 out of 3. But Nichols and their hardcore stuff, I give a perfect 3 out of 3. I think Minutemen are just beyond. Minutemen are just beyond great and perfect. I think they're so fucking good.
Okay.
Outside of their last 2 records, yeah, everything Minutemen put out before that, absolutely incredible. So there you go. That's all we have for the Meat Puppets and SST season. We're finally out of it after the disaster that was Husker Du last week. And
I still enjoyed it.
What?
I still enjoyed it. It was fun.
I enjoyed it, but I was embarrassed because yeah. Anyway, so we're getting out of this season. We're gonna do an offshoot band not SST season. We're gonna do an offshoot band, and then we're gonna get into a brand new season. And that season is going to be a Lost Episode season, where we get into a band or an album that we haven't done in at least 5 years. Lost Episodes no longer exist. Thank you. But otherwise, yeah. Thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And that's all I have for this, or we have for this episode. So that's it. That's all.